Hey everyone, what is happening out there? I see ocean, I see beautifulness. What is going on in the background over there, Mr. Callaghy?
Yeah, just super thankful on this thankful Thursday down by the ocean. Day started early. How was your morning, Fernando?
My morning, Sean, was full of enjoyment, time, compassion. I had, some time to think, get ready, set. I did my first virtual workout with my brother. My brother and my family are in Ocean City, Maryland. I was super sad about it, and we found ways to connect. And my brother and I are continuing our workout routine through Zoom, and it was interesting, and it was a good morning. So now I am here and excited to be with the team.
Yeah, awesome. And thank you everybody for being here. The investment of time and energy that you make every day is something that sets you apart so much from so many people. And no judgment, right? But so many folks set out on paths and set out to commit, and you're being here every day represents something extraordinary for you. So keep letting us know how you're doing, how we can serve you at higher and higher levels. What are things that are the greatest pains for you, challenges for you? What are things that you're super clear that you're going to create in the world? And also, that what are the things that you love and are thankful about yourself? This is an ongoing theme on Thankful Thursday for the last few weeks that we've been touching upon, is the critical value of your loving yourself and your unconditionally loving other people, and your gratitude. Just this morning, um, had a little bit of a challenge coming up to the beach. I left my surfboard here last night, and so I was excited and came up here this morning, and it was gone. And so I was like, "Are you?" Oh, by the way, there's a friend. Hello, friend. Okay. Fernando, is that your friend?
Yes, I would say that is my friend, Soren Free.
Oh, and there's another friend. How are we doing? Right. Yeah. So, by the way, some friends that were dolphins here yesterday. There was about a pod of 10 dolphins, about 50 yards offshore. Yeah. Yes. So I came up and surfboard's gone, and it was like, oh, like super frustrating. That's really upsetting. And Mona actually reframed it into, well, perhaps somebody is, you said?
So friggin' happy. They were dreaming, and they were actually like The Secret, they were visualizing having a brand new surfboard on the beach waiting for them because they couldn't afford it themselves. And there it was,
Yeah.
on the beach waiting for them.
So that was not my first reflexive reaction, but that is what we talk about, right? Loving people unconditionally, boundaries. So, for you out there, everybody, what are the things that we can all find gratitude in that would seem to be upsetting, to be frustrating, to be painful, but see the gifts in them? And what are the things from your past, your life, that have come up for you that have been really, at the time, like completely what you didn't want, and it resulted in creating immense and unbelievable love, like happenstance, incredible outcome. We often bring up the name Oprah Winfrey, and Oprah went through some of the most horrific traumas imaginable. And I wouldn't dare to say I even know or understand the depth and the extent and all the meanings and how all those things worked out. But I do know that Oprah has referenced those dynamics as being traumatic and painful for sure, but things that help shape her, form her, and make her into the person that could so empathetically and powerfully influence people, and so, right, and it's simplest, this is the most common, basic, cliched example in all of personal development, but it's not true, that Thomas Edison worked on inventing the light bulb and had immense and endless frustrations and challenges with how those vertical innovations were working. And each and every one of those dynamics, well, I can't say each and every one. Let's try to imagine this. What do you think he was feeling, Fernando, like the 850th time things didn't work out? Like, and we could all sit here and go, well, you know, he just said every time it was bringing him closer. But do you think sometimes he picked up the light bulb and like threw it across the room and smashed it off the walls like, mother effer, like, I'm done? I don't know. What do you think? I'm sure he's an incredible person, but do you think that there were some of those moments, Fernando?
Yeah, I would 100% believe there are some of those moments without a shadow of a doubt. Smashing, throwing, quitting, thinking, doubting, all those things were alive and well. And we don't think about that when we think about him, do we?
No, because we make up a story that's like the one sentence story, which is, oh, because there's like a quote, every time it didn't work out, I knew I was one step closer to the to inventing it, right? Like I'm sure that was his foundational belief structure, but I can't be sure, but I would highly speculate that there was a ton of moments of intense pain, anger, doubt, frustration, fear. And so on this Thankful Thursday, our takeaway for today, our core piece is when we look at the stories of others, no matter how successful, how incredible, these are people that went through the most painful moments in their journey. Sylvester Stallone, I mean, that story, it's so easy to look at him and be like, oh, like kind of, you know, make a little bit of fun for the way he talks, make a little bit of fun for the quality of movies he makes, perhaps. Like, I don't see it that way, but maybe you do, maybe a movie critic does. And to think about, oh, he's a Hollywood star, how easy things are. That dude has one of the most insane stories I've ever heard of. I don't think I ever could have did what he did, ever. I mean, he turned down, he was starving. Well, starving is a big word. He was hungry, had no food, had no money for food. The guy had to sell his dog. Like, just try to like drop in on that moment. Then let's think about the moment where you have to sell your dog, who he loved, right? And during that entire process was nonstop, endlessly, relentlessly committed to the idea that he was going to become an actor in Hollywood. And he got rejected. I mean, not only did he get rejected, there was like super legitimate reasons for him to get rejected. He had speech impediment. He sounded like he couldn't possibly ever play most roles in Hollywood. And like, so he had every reason to believe all of the quote unquote rejection, which I don't believe there's rejection, right? But in the normal human terminology, rejection continuously. He had every reason to believe that the rejection was legitimate, because people are like, listen, dude, I can't understand what you're saying. How are you going to be an actor? I can't understand what you are saying. This is just not going to happen. Or if it's going to happen, you're going to play like a thug in a movie that is going to like say a couple mumbly words and punch, you know, a guy out, be a bad guy, and then get punched out later. But you can't even be a lead villain, because again, we can't understand what you're saying. You could be like a henchman, kind of, right? And he's like, no. And it's so unbelievable, Fernando, you know, we talk about the formula and vertical innovation, that literally what Sylvester Stallone did, his innovation was, I'm going to make my own movie. I'm going to write a script that people want to buy so much, and I'm not going to sell it to them unless I can be in the movie. And he was so committed to doing this, that when they offered him 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, he turned it all down, because he knew what he was. He knew what his outcome was, and he knew what his why was. And in hindsight, Sylvester Stallone is preposterously grateful for every single rejection, because of the strength it built in him, or what was perceived as a rejection, right? And his reframing of rejection, because my hallucination is he couldn't possibly have processed it as rejection eventually. I'm sure sometimes he felt sad. I know he did. Sad, despondent, want to quit. But to have done that, he would have had to have reframed it. So on this Thankful Thursday, where have you in your life stepped into that space? What are you grateful for where you didn't give up? You didn't quit. You reframed meaning. You kept pressing forward. Maybe it's like on a 6th grade like science test that you were scared to death that you weren't going to pass. Maybe it's when you built your company and why you're making tons of money today. Maybe it's why when you got back surgery, like Jason, and you decided you're going to be an Iron Man, you became an Iron Man. Maybe it's Siri Lindley, right? Who couldn't swim, and went out and decided, hey, I'm going to be a triathlete and a world champion. Where have you been that? And where's your gratitude today, and how connected are you to it? Fernando, any final for today?
Final, Sean, is, just very beautiful things in the chat. Karen becoming a full-time caregiver after my 22-year-old son's severe traumatic brain injury. We have Peter, just, fully committed. Erica, discussing, her dynamics with her father and the battle she's having. Orlando, he's grateful for his mom passing away in the summer of 2012. So just really beautiful things in the chat, conversations happening, and a lot of gratitude. So thank you for centering us on this beautiful goddess aspirational energy for today as we think about the things that really matter to us on Thankful Thursday.
That's awesome. And so we're going to keep these to 15 minutes for quick, powerful, deep, or not, just a little magical, simple, fun, and magical moments to get your day started. Thank you so much. From my heart, I'm immensely grateful. We at Unblinded are immensely grateful for you being here. And new base camp for all of us. And let's create massive acceleration, rooted in our gratitude in this Thankful Thursday. Love people, be grateful for them, and lead them. They need you. Thank you.